As the noise and commotion continues towards election 2023, we hear all kinds of reasoning, and we begin to wonder, is it that our people have lost the capacity for logic, capacity to think things through, capacity to be honest? Or what is it that will make people say, oh, let's just go for the lesser devil? We are talking to those who think that of the three leading frontline political parties, the APC, the PDP, and the Labour Party, that there's a lesser devil in the party of Labour Party or in the person of P2B compared with Tinubu and Atiku. You know, the constitution by which the winner will govern, the fact of subscribing to a constitution that guarantees death, that guarantees corruption, that guarantees infrastructural decay, that guarantees everything we are rejecting. The fact that all the political parties in Nigeria subscribe to that constitution already brings them to equal standing in that devilish business of managing Nigeria with a constitution you could describe as the Leviathan. I'm sure some of us saw the video of the Irish woman, Emma Stark. I think we should just look at it for 1 minute.
So I believe that what you are about to see in Nigeria is a whirlwind of God who is going to start to discredit your political system. Within the next 10 months, the Lord says that your political leaders will be exposed and discredited. And the Lord says He will discredit their morality. He will discredit their integrity. He will discredit their financial dealings. He will discredit their lifestyle choices. And He says, watch as I bring a sustained humiliation to the system of leadership within this nation. And the Lord says, I will agitate and convulse and shake and show my power, for I am going to bring a chaos war where I whirlwind them out of their seats. But the Lord says, you have 10 months. Because the Lord says, if I come with a discrediting Nahum chapter 1 whirlwind, you must have dealt with Leviathan, or Leviathan will retake back the leadership of Nigeria, but you know it is 7 times worse at that point.
We see that going back to the broadcast we titled Nigeria, a pyramid of evil, we were talking about the hierarchy of demons headquartered in the British Crown, working with the Caliphate, the Fulani, in joint venture, imposing their will, supervening everything by way of the Constitution of Nigeria, which then produces the government and the governance we see. And we are at the bottom of that pyramid, at the receiving end of this hierarchy of demons. That 1999 Constitution, as far as the calamity called Nigeria is concerned, that 1999 Constitution is the Leviathan that Emma Stark was talking about in February of 2022. The 1999 Constitution is the personification of that overwhelming demon, that overwhelming principality that is in charge of this darkness, holding down the black man, because that's what Nigeria is doing. Nigeria has become the biggest liability to the black man. And it is this constitutional arrangement now in the 1999 edition, that is responsible. So anybody talking about lesser devil, look at what the person is saying. He's saying that this lesser devil will go on our behalf against the will of the demons that set up the game. That lesser devil, the political party that subscribes to that constitution, is already at the table of that demonic coven. Anybody who is willing to swear to defend and uphold that constitution, you may think is a lesser devil, may even be a bigger devil, because the people who set up the coven already have their marching orders for what the one you call lesser devil will do. There's no difference between any of the devils that, since we all agree, is devil. Why can't we do away with the coven? Why can't we do away with the devil itself, other than hoping to work with the one we describe as lesser devil? There's no lesser devil anywhere. It is that constitution that will be used to govern if this election goes on under that constitution. Let us be very clear about that. We already heard about the interrogatories in which we listed all of the things that will not change if elections proceed under the 1999 constitution. And since all the political parties in Nigeria subscribe to that constitution, that is the coven of the devil. So it doesn't matter whether it is Devil Tinubu or Devil Atiku or Devil Obi. It is that constitution is the Leviathan itself. And anybody who not only subscribe to that constitution, but is going to an election in which the winner, whether it is A or B or C, the winner will have to swear to defend, uphold, and govern by that the Leviathan. Let us for once pull back and apply reason, apply logic. Where do we go with all of this? Is it not an option for us to, oust, for us to terminate, for us to wind up that coven, for us to take down that demon? That is what Ninas has spent the last 22 years trying to, and we've succeeded. The enemy that is being defeated, the enemy that's been holding us down by virtue of that constitutional imposition of 1999, is the one struggling to find a lifeline. All of those who are going to election now, particularly the P2B and the Labour Party, all of them are the ones giving that enemy a lifeline to reinfuse some kind of life back into the constitution that we have defeated. So they are not on our side. Anybody who is on the side of that constitution is on the side of the devil. The church leaders in Nigeria should hear this. Anybody going to election under the 1999 constitution is firmly, very firmly, on the side of darkness in this matter, on the side of falsehood in this matter, on the side of the enemy in this matter. The only thing that will be on our side, the only person that will be on our side is the one that rejects that constitution and therefore rejects further national election under it. Let nobody make any mistakes, because it doesn't matter who among the three parties will be declared winner. We end up in exactly the same ditch. That constitution, that devil is in charge. And God save you, you have only, it's even, are you not even better with a senior demon, so that he can have a mind of his own? If you go and take the lesser devil, he will be more of a tool in the hands of the very big demons that own the enterprise. That's what we are getting into. That's what we say, let us avoid, because the consequences of it will be grave. We heard Prophet or Apostle Isa El-Buba very clearly responding to the charlatan that goes by the name Sheikh Mahdi, that goes around talking nonsense all over the place. Sheikh Mahdi is still living in the illusion of Madu Bello that sees Nigeria as a state of his great-grandfather Uthman Dan Fodio. Sheikh Mahdi is still thinking that the Middle Belt is in the belly of the Fulani and the Caliphate is operating. But there's a new reality. The backbone, the one north that charlatan Shehu Mahdi was talking about, the one north was the backbone, the bogey of one north was the backbone of the one Nigeria that emerged from the death of the Federation of Nigeria in 1966. The one north was the backbone of one Nigeria. The day the Caliphate began to behead their collaborators and errand people in the Middle Belt, by extension, the entire Middle Belt, the day the North began to kill off their members in that Middle Belt, they broke the backbone of that one North. And the collapse of the backbone of that one North was the end of that one Nigeria. And so, we agree with Buba in his response to charlatan Shehu Mahdi, but we have to remind Buba that there is no lesser devil, like we already said, and that Peter Obi will swear to govern by the constitution imposed by that same enemy you are running away from. And there's nothing he's going to be able to do to change the basic things that regulate the lives of people who live under that constitutional regime, like apartheid. So please, let us get to know what we did not know. That constitution would dictate what will happen, not Peter Obi. Peter Obi will only be president. He's not going to have the power as president to change the contents of that constitution. He will go back to the people who imposed it. And if they don't change it, you are stuck there. And if while all these things are happening, the Fulani agenda of conquest is not abating, is not slowing down, and they will ride on the back of that constitution, whether they're in government house or they are not, to complete their conquest, because the guns will still be substantially under their control. Let us be wise. Let us work with knowledge. Go back to that Amy Stark. Listen again. You will see that she says that Nigeria has 10 months. The forces of heaven are already at work on the subject. It's not something that will happen tomorrow. She said this in February, middle of February 2022. She said Nigeria has 10 months to defeat that Leviathan. And we have explained to you, going back to that pyramid of evil, that Leviathan, as far as Nigeria is concerned, is that constitution. We have 10 months. Take 10 months from February. Is it not end of 2022 to defeat that constitution? And if we don't, that our suffering will come sevenfold from what we were complaining about. And so, let us be clear in our mind that there's no lesser devil in this matter. We either do away with the devil or we stay with the devil, with the consequences of it. Ninas is saying, let us get rid of this devil once and for all. If you choose to hang on with the devil, don't come crying when he begins to suck your blood, like he's sucking in the Middle Belt, like he's sucking in Jos, like he's sucking in Southern Kaduna and everywhere. It's coming down south, and we have a limited time to overcome it. If we don't, we are going to, the whirlwind of God is coming. The things you see happening all over the place, you probably would think is all about accident. No. If you want to know what is changing, listen to Bill Clinton. He talked about it, the killings that the British had to preside over in the Biafran War, 3 million people, because you want to impose your will on other people. The mechanism by which all of that is happening, Clinton says, let people realize that others now want to manage their own affairs in their own identities. Why can't we stand up in that new thinking and end this 400 years of being ordered around by people who are no far better than us, other than just some of our own people aiding evil? There's no lesser devil in this matter. That constitution is the devil. Going to election under it is subscription to the will of the devil. And we have been through the experiences of how the devil works. That's why Nigeria of 200 million people is still discussing 5,000 megawatts of electricity. Is poverty capital of the world, selling 3 million barrels of crude oil every day, celebrating corruption in every possible way, garlanding impunity. I mean, how we are the worst example of everything bad. But when Nigerians get overseas, they become the best examples of everything good. What is wrong with the land? It is that constitution that defines what happens in this space. We can do away with it instead of looking for, some lesser devil in the midst of the coven that we have chosen to, work ourselves into. We can do better than that. Thank you.